Nothing breaks my accountant spirit like juggling messy client bank accounts. I'm talking the clunky logins, the missing statements, and random charges labeled miscellaneous, and I'm expected to make sense of it? That's why we recommend and use Relay. It's modern business banking, but built for accountants. Can I get an amen in the back? With Relay, your clients can open up 20 checking and 2 savings accounts, issue virtual cards and physical cards with built-in spend controls, and each of my team members can be provisioned access by me, the firm owner, without begging for login credentials or chasing down 2-factor codes. Relay gives us real-time visibility into cash flow, spending, and transactions. Goodbye spreadsheets, hello cash flow mastery. If you're ready to break up with bad banking and save yourself hours every month, head to relayfi.com/unaccountable. That's relayfi.com/unaccountable, folks. I can't say it enough. We need sponsors to know that people listen to this podcast. Please help us. Welcome to UnAccountable, the world's okayest accounting game show podcast for product news, updates, and education. I am your hoarse-voiced host, Tyler Otto, and I'm joined by the Comprehendible Co-host, Jeremy Van Groll.
Oh, I love this. What is going on, man? What happened? A little under the weather?
I don't know. I had a slight cold coming on this weekend, thought I was fine. It started going yesterday, and then, of course, so what do? I go to a concert last night, and I mean, dude, this is 10 times better than what I sounded like last night when I got home. So, you know, we're already into talking a lot today. I am going to go rest my vocal cord. No, I'm not. I'm going to interview someone in an hour. So, yeah, I'm just going to keep using. Anyways, hi, Jeremy.
Hi. I'm going to have to talk a lot, so I'm going to have to be comprehensible to make sure everybody on the podcast is doing well. I just read the other day or saw a clip on for Lord of the Rings, Andy Sudeikis or whoever did Gollum's voice.
Yeah.
That he had the special Gollum juice of like Anacia and lemon and tea and whatever. And like every time he wasn't on the camera, he was drinking that just to keep his voice up to par that he could do Gollum's voice. Precious. So you're gonna have to look up that recipe.
I love how you mixed Andy Serkis and Jason Sudeikis into one name. That was good. Well done. I have a similar juice. It's all those things except none of them in whiskey. So it helps.
It's gin and juice like Snoop.
There you go. Man.
All right, let's get into
Jeremy,
it.
what's in the news? Fill me in because I don't got a voice.
No, let me ask a question first. Hear me out on this proposal. So we've had July and August now go. And you and I both are bi-weekly payroll people because for some reason we're stupid and didn't go to bi-monthly right away. Positives and negatives to both of those.
Agreed.
But there's a good chance if you're bi-weekly that one of these 2 months in the middle of the year is a 3-week payroll.
Correct.
Let's put it in our agreements that clients pay us 150% of their annual or monthly fee on the 3 payroll months. How does that sound?
I'm seriously wondering why I don't go to bi-monthly. Because I know why, actually, because all of a sudden a pay period ends on a Friday and you've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday to run it. And it's just like, versus you can just get in the routine of like, it's every other Monday you run it. So I get why, but gosh, it'd be lovely on cash flow because it just perfectly matches your client payments. Like, oh yeah, it's brutal.
Make accruals easier. Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it's been a while. So we recorded our last episode early because our producer had some fun things going on. So it's been a few weeks. So we got a lot of things to just cover here. I think initially you had a little bit of a rough week or some bad news this week. Want to just touch on that briefly?
Well, I mean, running any business, you have team members come and go, and I had 2 team members go and 2 great team members leave in the same week. So, you know, just constantly shifting, and I actually fired a client as a part of it. Like, you know, it was like, how quickly do we hire back staff, or do we get rid of one of our bigger clients that also is just awful to work on because they don't respond, they aren't the nicest, and then they have very, you know, adamant, quick demands when they don't even get us information. So we said goodbye to a client. So anyways, it's weird. And then, you know, I did an onboarding this week. I've got an onboarding next week. So like,
dude, there's just a ton of stuff, and that's what comes with running a firm. And you know, these two team members, I wish them all the best. They're amazing people, and they put in a lot of solid work and years for my company. So wish them all the best. But yeah, it's a loss for me. So been a week.
Yeah, and that's tough, right? As a firm owner and just an employer, right? People you genuinely care about leaving, and then just all the other things on top of that, right? So because of this, but you and I have been talking with our friend Alex at South Offices, and both contemplating interviewing and potentially hiring some people that we'd call nearshore, Argentina. Yep. And just want to get a thought from you on this, because I'm going down this path for the first time. And first of all, I just want to allude to, like, I'm glad you brought that up. I know all the listeners do not think that we're amazing accounting firm owners, right? But it's good for us to just be candid when we're having some struggles and working through those as well. But again, nonprofits, big on relationship based. That's where I kind of put our whole message on as a firm. And there will probably be some legacy clients where I'm going to assign these team members to if we go down this path and find a good candidate out of Argentina. And I'm a little nervous about that. Now, new clients, you can just tell them, hey, this is what we do, right? Here's your team. If they're a great person, great. But I'm a little concerned about selling that to legacy ones that have always only dealt with domestic labor. What are your thoughts on that one?
So this is interesting because, I mean, first of all, if the clients don't like your business model, they don't like it, like, take it or leave it. Yeah. I don't know if those are people I want to work with. What I will say is, like, the way I'm approaching this position, if I can, is if I hire the candidate I talked to on Monday or the one I'm talking to in an hour, my plan is for the foreseeable future, the next 3 to 6 months, they're not doing the direct client communication most of the time. I'm still going to keep my existing staff doing a lot of communication that have the relationships, but I'm going to have them doing a lot of the heavy lifting accounting. I'm kind of leaning towards going forward that I'm going to keep my account managers as really strong relationship people that are good at, you know, quoting 80s lyrics and movie references and can just riff with a client. Yeah. And then I'm going to work and hire some CPAs like these ones out of Argentina to help on a lot more of the technical heavy lifting. And that's my hope. We'll see if it works. What I will say, and I don't know, will you suffer my voice through a 30-second story?
Yeah.
Okay. So back when I hit puberty, different story. I actually called one of my clients this week, one of our bigger ones, and I just said, like, hey, yeah, we're losing this team member. I know it's a big loss. And he's like, yeah, I saw the email. And he and I just kind of chatted business owner, not, you know, I'm his service provider to a client. And I told him, like, hey, I'm actually looking at bringing in CPAs from Argentina to help. His biggest comment was, dude, there are smart people all over the world. I love that you're not just trying to keep it local. So, you know, he's a $4,000, $5,000 a month contract somewhere in there. And he was like all for it. He's like, it sounds like you're making a great decision. You're bringing in good resources. And he's like, I got the fullest confidence in you guys in the company. So, you know, my hope is this gets me a little bit more support on the technical accounting side.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And kind of what I want to, my initial plan, and I need to polish this 1,000 times, right, is that, you know, we work with nonprofits, and I know my margins are not great. If you would look at the accounting industry overall and be like, if you want me to continue doing very competitive rates for fantastic work, I need to make sure that I'm also finding equitable labor costs, right? So if you want me to continue doing what we're doing and improve and do all of that, either I need to start hiring US CPAs and everybody's rates goes up 30% overnight, or we need to find smart people in other places that we're still paying them a great wage where they're making a great living and all of that, but working through that option as well. So nervously excited to kind of move forward with this.
I mean, the good news or bad news is, Jeremy, we're probably both going to be able to talk about this experience together going forward over the next couple months. Like, you and I are on the same trajectory because you stole my idea.
Yes, you will. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the next thing. And this is going to be a little bit of a different take on us. Kind of a few things I just want to talk through in the beginning, right? Because we've been gone for so long. But announcement coming out of Bookkeeper Launch and Jaime's team, which we love. Fantastic, right? The BKE experience, not going to be at scaling next year. Going to be hanging over in the Utah area for GrowCon, which Roger Connect and Universal Accounting. Excited about that. What's your thoughts?
It's going to be right down the street from me. So, I mean, what are we going to do? Do we have an UnAccountable party while we're out here? Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that with you being there, there's a lot of opportunity that we can work on there. Are you going to be a speaker?
I think so. So someone involved in the organization reached out and said, "Hey, would you speak?" And I was like, "Yeah." And you saw they, on one post said, "Hey, Tyler's going to be there. Come meet." And then the day after, they sent me a link to apply to speak. So I don't know if that means like for sure, or maybe I just have to go through the formalities of filling it out, or maybe they're second guessing themselves, rightly so. We'll see.
Right. Yeah, I got invited as well, and I'm like, I just feel like I don't have a ton of things to. We do, right? We do this every 2 weeks, fortnightly.
Yep.
We have so much to share, but it's like, what do you want to speak at a conference? And I'm like, cricket. My brain done, right? So got to think about that and put that out there. Maybe we can be up on stage. Maybe not even together. We'll see.
Anything else in the news?
Last one, and I'm going to do this one with some questions.
Ooh, okay.
So our friends at Ramp had an announcement this week.
Okay.
So I'm going to say they went out and got some money, some investments. So just raised a bunch of money for their expansion and growth and AI improvements and all that. How much did they raise, Tyler? 300 million, 1 billion, or $500 million?
500 million?
Yeah, 500 smackaroons, or 500 million smackaroons, which is a lot, right?
Yep.
And if you look, their estimation now, that estimates their market cap at like $22 billion as an organization.
It feels like they came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know, like they had the Super Bowl commercial last time, and like, yeah, crazy. So just a sidebar question then. In March, they put out some annualized revenue figures. Was it their annualized revenue $1 billion, 700 million, or 1.25 billion?
700 million. I'm going as low as I can.
Okay, you're right again.
Yeah.
So making revenue top line 700 million, and I know like they have different places that they're having their product and selling it, but I know it's still free for the small, medium business sizes that are using it for credit cards and bill payment and all of that. And that's a lot of money to be making on a free product for one of their accounting.
Jeremy, did the Social Network movie, not the dramatic one, the Social Dilemma, did it teach you nothing? That
apparently not.
If the product is free, you're the product. Ramp makes money because we use their credit cards and use their platforms, and they make money on the exchange. I mean, ADP makes tons of money not on our payroll fees, but they make it on the float of holding all our tax money until it's due at the end of quarter and earning interest. Yeah, it's absurd, but these businesses, they make a lot of money just on us as the product.
That's a cool model. So one final and most important question, true or false, with this equity injection of money in cash, Ramp should now have enough cash to become an unaccountable sponsor?
I would sure hope so. At this point,
come on, Ramp, come
along
with us on the ride.
I know. One day we'll get a paycheck from them,
right?
And Jeremy, now we get to bring in our first ever threepeat guest. Yes, someone who just habitually does not learn his lesson of associating with ill, reputable folk. But Ben Stein, back on UnAccountable, talking keeper. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Tyler. It is great to be back here.
Ben, at this point, everyone knows I geek out over Keeper. I feel like you guys don't even need to pay for ad slots, though. Thank you. We do appreciate them. But at this point, if someone, got lost on the internet today and found UnAccountable for the first time, what should they know about Ben Stein and Keeper as the primer before we get you into a game?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I like to say Keeper is a month-end close manager. It's a suite of tools that increasingly goes beyond helping you run your month-end close to ultimately being able to be the one place where you run your month-end close. So we have a suite of tools, one of which I think we may talk some about on the show, but so that you can run your entire end-to-end close all in one place right inside Keeper.
And I mean, that's the spiel you guys have said for years, except you're leaving out now. You got Tax Suite and you got email integration. And dude, you are becoming so much more than just my month-end bookkeeping close. I mean, you're the all-in-one suite here.
I think we've always said it. And in some sense, that makes us historically liars because I think it's only now starting to be true. But really, I think we take a broad mandate and we see everything that an accounting firm can do. If we can automate it, if we can help connect it, bring it all in one place, that's what we're trying to do here in Keeper.
Well, and the part that's just amazing to me is like so many more tools are now trying to do the things you're doing, right? It's like, oh, if you want your QC process, we have a plan for that. And it was like, you guys were the alphas, and now everybody's like, oh, that worked well, and they're having success. We better wrap that into our process too, and maybe it'll work for them, maybe not. But yeah, you guys do it really well.
So Ben, we're excited. We're going to see how well you do. We could have taken you off Fast Figures this year and done a different game, but no, we want to see how you do under pressure. Hopefully by now, it's a little bit easier of process as we run you through Fast Figures.
Welcome to Fast Figures. 10 questions, 1 minute-ish. All answers are numbers. The game starts now.
Is it weird to be introduced to a game by yourself?
It is. And now this is the second time. It's the first time I recorded it. So it has not gotten less weird.
Yeah.
I still a little bit hate the sound of my own voice.
Well, we love it. And it's funny how many guests we've had on where they're like, is that Ben? Is that Ben? Yeah, that's Ben.
That's bad.
All right, let's throw a minute on the clock and see how Ben Stein does. All right, you should have been ready for it. How many points is a rugby try worth?
5 points.
Within 3, when a credit card charge comes across a bank feed, how many characters in that text string can the business or processor customize? Within 3.
N.
How many Super Bowls have the Pittsburgh Steelers won?
2? Oh, that can't be right. No, I'll stick with 2. I know that's not right.
Buenos Aires, Argentina is exactly how many hours ahead or behind United States EST time?
1 hour, unless you have daylight savings time, in which case it's 2 hours.
How many characters are there in 1 bit of data?
8.
As of today, how many users are in Keeper's users Facebook for? Wow. Try again. Sorry, Ian. As of today, how many users are in the Keeper users Facebook forum to the nearest 1,000th?
5,000.
Which effing key do I use on my keyboard to get some help?
Wait. I don't know. I have no idea.
Which effing key gets me help?
Which key gets you help? I didn't know any keys got you help.
All right. The Pareto principle asserts that blank percent of results come from blank percent of effort, also known as the number rule. What are those blanks?
80-20.
In the 2007 Nicolas Cage film Next, also starring Jessica Biel and Julianne Moore, how many minutes into the future could he see?
9. I have not seen the movie.
In the hit theme song Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Ian, hit us with a drop. How many actual locations do they reference in that song within 10?
Within 10, I was going to guess 12, but that seems like it can't possibly be right. I'll guess 20.
All right. Well done, sir.
I don't know about well done, but done is at least true.
I'll roll with it. Either way, you've already become so smart and already shown your prowess on this show before. Now we just got to, humble you a little, make you a little more relatable to the common man.
Well, I think you'll do a good job at that, but let's see where I land.
All right. First question, just because, yes, you knew this was going to come. How many points are in a rugby try? You correctly said 5. And for the listeners that haven't listened to Ben here before, his business partner and for a while their life partner, just 24/7, you guys were in room together as you built this company, Kenny.
To be clear, roommate.
Yeah, I know.
Nice. Hetero life partner.
I know. You and Kenny started this company a while ago. Kenny, an avid rugby player, and in Ben's first appearance, got this wrong. So we're just keeping him honest now. Well done.
Yeah.
Question 2, Ben, and this is where I want to get into it, is within 3, when a credit card charge comes across a bank feed, how many characters can the processor customize in that text string? You said 10. And while you weren't there, it's 22 is what they can customize. But that's not a lot of characters to talk about what company name, what service. And you guys recently just announced on your product roadmap page that your AI bank feeds is now open in beta for people. Talk about the difficulties of trying to build a new bank feed concept that integrates AI and what this is going to do to the industry and for your users.
Yeah. I will say from an engineering perspective, ironically, like the hard part is more connecting to the banks than using the AI.
Really?
The AI, like give it conditional and good data. The AI is like, I think works really well. It's establishing and maintaining those connections with the banks. That is the hard part. And that's actually where we spent a ton of our engineering resources in terms of making that connection easy to happen, easy to stay connected, and then also easy to get those connections from, if your clients are the ones with the logins, get those connections from your clients as well.
So what's this going to do for your users now? I mean, I'll be honest, Jeremy, I've been poking around with this for a couple of weeks. Ben gave me access.
I can't imagine. Huge surprise there that you've been poking around with. Yeah,
I know. But, Ben, what can users expect? What is this going to do to their workflows?
Yeah, so this is really the first part of a suite of improvements that will come between now and the end of the year, such that by the end of that, you can run your entire month-end close from beginning to end in one place. That place is Keeper, without ever needing to log into your client's ledger in QuickBooks or Xero.
That's amazing.
Mic drop. Yeah, that's awesome.
Seriously, I mean, there's some of the frustration of back forth, go look at our receipts queue, then go code the bank feed, but then something came in, did we duplicate? If we're doing it all in one spot, oh my goodness. I mean, just the time savings alone of not having to make sure that two systems are right, even though they have one source of truth between them. Yeah, you're going to make life a whole lot better for us. Dare I ask, these AI bank feeds then, how much is that going to run me?
If you're in Keeper Premium already, that's going to be the low price of $0. So we hope that fits within your budget, Tyler.
I mean, it's pretty dark. I don't think UnAccountable could afford it, but yeah. We keep bouncing checks to our editor. Sorry, Ian. It's not that we're poor. It's that I'm bad at putting money in the bank account.
That's awesome. Like, what was the biggest challenge of this, right? Like you talked about getting the banks that always disconnect and working through that. What was the hardest part for you guys to kind of build this into the tool?
I think the hardest part with anything is prioritization. So there's so many things that you need to do at the beginning that it is this like overwhelming, like, oh, we need to do 1 million different things to launch a bank feed. And so figuring out the build order to get the software into people's hands, which ultimately is the right way to prioritize, is then like your customers, your prospects tell you, here's actually what we need. And then we build those things is really, really important. So the prioritization was and still continues to be probably the most difficult part of it. I will say that like, I'm surprised at how easily the like AI piece came together. Like, I think the AI categorization is super robust and actually like was not the hardest part. It was probably what I was expecting to be the hardest part.
Sure.
But in fact, it has just, it has felt more like developing any other feature in Keeper, which is just like the grinding process of like getting something from very rough stone to like a polished statue. It's a sort of torture analogy.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, interesting.
Next question. How many Super Bowls have the Pittsburgh Steelers won? You said 2, and that's how many Big Ben won, but they won 6. I mean, I'll give you half a point for knowing that, Ben had 2. Ultimately, I'm just curious, Ben, have you ever like reminisced of the day that, maybe you should have gone into the family steel industry and not gone into accounting, or are you still happy to play with all us nerds?
I will say I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work in an accounting business. I am very happy to be doing what I'm doing here. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. So I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about what might have been.
I feel like too, unless you're carrying on a $1 million or $1 billion legacy, you got to kind of go where your heart draws you. I was talking to a client today, and it's actually her grandmother that had the first Montessori school ever in Wisconsin. And she's doing it, but it's not like a great fit for her skill set. And I'm like, hey, there's a reason I'm not a farmer, right? Like, that's not where I would be very.
Those dainty hands, Jeremy, couldn't handle it.
Yeah, that's right.
Next up, Ben. Buenos Aires, Argentina is exactly how many hours ahead or behind United States EST? And you schooled me throwing in even a daylight savings. But yes, it is 1 hour. And you guys, as you have grown, have developed a large contingent of team members, a lot of programmers that are in Argentina. Jeremy and I both interviewed employees or candidates this week in Argentina. What has that experience been like, both just for our listeners and for Jeremy and I who want to learn what's in our future, of building, a team offshore?
So I don't want to leave out the other members of our South American squad here. We have also folks in Brazil and Uruguay. So it's more than just BA, although we do tend to, when we do our engineering on-sites, we do tend to meet in BA because it's the sort of most central, easiest for everyone to get to. But what I'll say is like, if you're already remote, it's surprisingly not that hard to go one step further and go into a foreign country. All of our team in South America speaks just like amazing English, like better English than I do. And it continuously blows me away. But so no real language barrier. Obviously, the big thing is no real time barrier. Like we work on the same time zones. So that's super, super helpful. It's easiest because Kenny and I are in Eastern time. It's a little more challenging if you're like Pacific time, because then that becomes, instead of a 1 hour difference, it's like a 4 to 5 hour difference.
Yeah.
But I think the big thing is like, if you've learned how to do a remote company, like it's not that much harder to manage a remote team internationally versus domestically. I mean, obviously there's like setting up payments as international contractors versus like W-2 employees, but yeah. I suspect this crowd might be able to handle that part.
Sure hope so at this point.
Yeah.
Next question, Ben. How many characters are there in a bit of data? You said 8, and that's a byte, but there are 8 bits in a byte. There is just a 1 or a 0 in a bit, just one character.
Okay,
but
yeah, that makes sense.
I just wanted to give you a slight computer program because I was struggling to come up with this 10th question. There we go. I'm sorry.
I was so thrown because I wouldn't call it a character.
What do you call it? Digit?
A digit, yeah. But I would have gotten that wrong either way. I'm just
poorly worded by me.
I'm applying for partial credit here.
All right. We'll still give you plenty of brownie points at the end. Next question, though. As of today, how many users are in the Keeper users Facebook forum to the nearest 1,000th? And you swiftly and accurately said 5,000, which I asked you this last year when you were on, and that number was 4,000. A 25% increase. What does that journey look like for you guys? You know, growing at least the people that want to be in the user forum. And I don't know your sales numbers, but I mean, 25% increase there. What does this journey look like over the last year?
Yeah, I would say our customer accounts growth would exceed that. But I think it's been a really interesting journey. And I think the sort of like core focus really is always, how do we keep that experience not changing? Like, how do we make sure that the N plus first customer still has the same high quality level of touch and service that the first customer, second customer, 10th customer, 100th customer has? And in many ways, how can we even make that better? And I think what that has turned into is like, oh gosh, we got to hire a lot of people. So that's, I think, been the biggest change is like, when you're going from like X to 2X, that maybe just be like, you may need to hire like one person, and that gets you from like X to 4X. But then when you go from like 4X to 8X, which is just one more doubling, you have to hire another person. And then if you go from 8X to 16X, you have to hire another 2 people. And so the constant growth percentage ends up just meaning you have to hire a ton of people. So really, I mean, the team has grown hugely since we last spoke, probably.
That's amazing.
And if they're all great team members, this is fantastic. But I still, like, we've grown pretty decently as well. But every 2 weeks when I got to prove that payroll number, I'm like, oh man, that's a hit, right?
You remember, Jeremy, when you started your firm and you're like, can you imagine if my top line income was that number? And now you're sending that like your monthly income is that number. And now that's every 2 weeks payroll that you're sending out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's quite the journey. Ben, another one, just because I actually needed 2 questions to fill in here. But which effing key do I use on my keyboard to get some help? You press the F1 key in any Microsoft program or anything else. F1 gets you help.
I gotta say, I've been out of the Windows game for too long. I'm purely in Mac. F1 reduces my brightness on my computer.
All right, well, never mind. There's no help for you. That's just for me.
I love this answer too, because I don't know if you saw, took me back to the Simpsons meme where it's like Homer's at the computer and they're like,
to start, press any key. Where's the any key? I see ESC, Catarl, and Pickup. There doesn't seem to be any key.
love it.
All right, next question, because I'm excited to ask you about this, Ben. I'm going to read these 2 together because they kind of go together into a question I want to ask. But the Pareto principle asserts that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. You nailed that correctly. And with it, the question about Nick Cage in the movie Next, how many minutes could he see into the future? It was exactly 2 minutes, not 9. But this kind of goes hand in hand. First, the Pareto principle says prioritize the things that are going to move the needle most. And for you guys, I've seen your product roadmap, your suggestions from customers. How on earth do you prioritize between, profitability and customer feedback, but opportunity, but innovation and building a solid framework. How do you prioritize effectively? And then the what's next question after you've figured out that prioritization?
It's a great question. What I will say is we're very lucky to be in a position where when you're selling software, it's very high margin. It's a very high margin product. And so we don't think a ton about oh, do we need to ship this feature to make us more profitable? It's if we ship software that our customers that is both the answer to the question of how do we get more profitable, as well as how do we meet customer needs, and how do we retain, all of those compress into just build the best software. So it's a pretty nice objective function. As far as how we prioritize that, it's this continual loop of trying to think about what the job to be done is, what we're essentially hired as a piece of software to do, and how we can fill gaps in there that work for either the majority of our customers, or that work for a bigger, maybe a smaller fraction of our customers, but for some huge problem or pain point. So a good example of this is accruals. I know this is a huge problem for people who do accruals. Obviously, many of our customers are cash basis or mostly cash basis. So I think that's a good example of something where that might not be something that addresses 100% of our customers' pain points, but for the subset of customers that do need to do accruals, that's a huge problem to solve.
Any updates on that then?
Probably comfortably before the next time I'm on here, we'll have an update.
Okay, good to know. So then, with that, what is next prioritization wise? You teased a little bit about this bank feed and it's part of a bigger suite. Is there anything worth discussing now? I don't want to out you on anything you can't speak about yet.
Yeah. So the way I like to conceptualize the month-end close, it's really five core steps. And this is our mandate between now and the end of the year is what I'm saying is finish the job, right? Get to the point where we can actually truly automate as much of the close as can be automated. And so the 5 steps in the close are data entry, which in my mind, this is any automated syncs. So this could be your point of sale sync. This could be your payroll sync. This is also your manual work. So this is your bank feed categorization. This is your accruals management. Yeah. Anything where you're putting new transactions into ledger. That's step 1. Step 2 is accruals. Step 3 is your month-end review. Step 4 is your client communications, anything you need from your clients to finish the close. And then step 5 is your management reporting. So that's technically post-close, but we're not going to split hairs here. And so historically, Keeper has solved the last 3. And so with bank feeds, it's our first step into the first 2. And by the end of the year, I expect basically all of those first 2 pieces to be doable entirely within Keepers. That's bank feeds, that's accruals, that's reconciliations. Then there's some other features that are coming soon that sort of fall into, again, this case of very painful things for some subset of the audience. So for that, we're shipping a new feature called AI journal entries, which will let you just describe what you want done to a more complex document. We'll turn that into a journal entry that's postable directly to the ledger.
So, I'm putting you on the spot here, but is there a scenario where it's hey, I just need a journal entry to spread payroll out based on percentage of revenue by class? Is it going to be able to do something like that?
That is the goal. Probably the V1 won't go live with that capability, but yeah, absolutely. Those kinds of more complex journal entries are exactly what we want to address with AI journal entries.
Amazing. Oh, I can't wait.
Please tell me when you have the first 2 there that I don't care how long the webinar is, that all you're going to do is not even take any questions, just sit there and close a whole client for a half an hour or 45 minutes and be save your questions for the end. We're going to show you how this is all going to work, every step. I think that would be amazing.
So this is actually this is what I do with our own close. And I actually expect our own close to be completable in under an hour by the end of the year with the new features that we're shipping. And I think the main constraint will just be confidentiality and how much.
Right.
There's probably some information. I'm generally a pretty open guy. We're a pretty open company. I think there might be some information we might not want to reveal in that. So we have to find a good sample file that we can run a close on.
To be honest, Ben, you and I should talk about this because I've been doing training videos for my staff and other stuff. And I'm trying to make it so that it doesn't show any of my client data. I think you and I could collaborate on a dummy set of data that we just use for everything.
I think that's a good idea.
All right. Sounds good. Let's run with it. Last question in your fast figures, but in the hit theme song, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? How many actual locations on Earth are named? It was within 10. You said 20. The answer is, depending on how you look at it, 29 or 30. You are just there because it was Czechoslovakia and then they changed it to Czech and Slovakia. So it's 29 and 30,
Well,
but well done. The question being off of this is, I used to love in the day when we would be able to guess where Carmen Sandiego is off today. That TV show was amazing. The Mac computer game in the 80s was wonderful.
yeah.
But as I get on my LinkedIn now, it almost becomes where in the world is Keeper? You guys are going to Europe for conferences. You're at every single trade show. Like, what's next for you guys? Whether markets you're getting into, other countries, other regions, or just shows coming up that you're trying to break into more?
Yeah. I think actually this is one of those places where like what's next for us is actually, this is like going backwards, we can go forward. So really, I talked a lot about what we're shipping over the next 5 months through the rest of the year. And it's really focused on month-end close and really focused on like domestic US month-end close. So really that's the core focus, because we want to make sure that we are not getting pulled into a million different directions. And that leads us to not serve our customers who have needs today. So really like where in the world is Keeper focused? It's right here in the great USA.
All right. I love it. And with that, Ben, we're all ready to halftime. I mean, hold on. Score count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50% mediocrity, right?
Yes.
Mediocrity on the dot. Well done, sir.
This episode of UnAccountable is brought to you by Keeper. I mean, at this point, you have heard me gush about them whether or not they're paying for ad space, so you might as well give it a try. But if you haven't yet, you're not convinced, well, let me tell you, I've gotten a sneak peek at what's coming up next. That's right, Keeper is about to release AI bank feeds. No longer do you need to go into your QuickBooks or Xero account and do all the work in there only to jump back to your task management system, Keeper. No, you're going to be able to do it all in one place. Yes, you are going to be able to sit on the couch and be able to do all the work of reconciliations and coding transactions all within Keeper. And can you believe it? It's only $10 a month. What do you have to lose? You'll never want to leave Keeper for your month-end close. So head on over to keeper.app and use the code UNPOD for 20% off your first 3 months. On to the show.
And on to halftime, which everyone knows is part of the show where we head over to the sideline and get a bite out of an app. Obviously, we're talking Keeper. I mean, I already teased out as much as I can, but really, I want to know like anything else. What's the sales pitch? What should listeners know? Like, let's get into it, whether it's, I mean, if you want me to freestyle on tax suite, conditional logic organizers, I mean, yeah, what are we talking today?
Like, I think really top of our mind is close. I think the bank feeds, we try to make it something that we know switching bank feeds is not an easy task. And so we wanted to make that something that was attractive enough from a price point perspective. But I think there's a ton of time savings to be gained there in both direct and indirect ways. So with our bank feeds, I think first and foremost, the classification experience is just significantly better than what you'd be doing in your core ledger today. With our AI, we can automate something like 70 to 80% of basic transaction categorization with no need to create rules. I mean, we do have rules and even more complex and conditional logic rules in the system than what you can find in QuickBooks, for example, today. But a lot of what we're doing is just basing future categorization on or present categorization on historical data, and that doesn't require rules. So we think of rules as sort of more designed to capture exceptions management than something that you need to set one up every single time you see any kind of a transaction that you might see again. So I think the base categorization experience is just really good and worth trying out. I think one of the things that as we have started to open up the beta that has surprised me in terms of how much people have appreciated it is the connections experience. And in particular, the fact that you can request a connection through the portal to your clients, so the clients don't have to log into QuickBooks to give you access to a bank feed. They can just get access. They can just grant you access through the portal. And the really nice thing about that is if that ever breaks, you don't have to find out that it broke because you went into the bank feed and tried to code and saw that it was broken. We'll automatically email the client, and then the client can fix it potentially without you ever needing to know or worry about it. And then you can just get back to your bank feeds and keep coding.
I just peed a little there. That was fantastic. How many times is it like, oh God, we got to reach out to them and try? Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, yeah, if you're taking my closes to an hour at the end of the month, like, holy shnikes, Ben. Yeah, I'm going to write that on my vision board up here. So it better be coming. With that, the bank fee connection, what can people expect with statements? You going to be able to do something like that in a version 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, that will not be in the version 1, but that is something that we're working on for subsequent improvements.
Wow.
And by
Jeremy, anything else?
By statements, you mean just going out, fetching the statement at the bank, bringing it in, and like doing it for more than 3 financial organizations like QuickBooks can now.
Yeah, exactly. The goal is to pull statements directly in, and that will interface with our reconciliations product so that potentially we can perform the rec for you on your behalf. Yep. And then all you need to do is just like pop into the rec that we did and verify it if you even want.
Yeah. Only one other question. I believe somewhere in the early, like if Tyler was talking through Roadmap, I hope he actually was only saying things that are actually publicly available on the Roadmap, but said something around profitability. Is this client profitability and being able to assess that better, or did I take that the wrong way?
I think Tyler is maybe asking about Keeper's profitability as a company.
Oh, okay. All right.
We are working on significant improvements to reporting over the next 3 to 6 months, but I don't think that was the nature of Tyler's question in particular.
No, but Ben's picking up my vibes.
Right. Thinking if like we can take in like payroll data from Gusto or something and have the client billing in there and then allocate that out where I'm not doing this huge journal entry to do client profitability. That's where I got excited about it, but I jumped the gun. I apologize.
I mean,
this is what potentially we should sidebar offline, but potentially AI journal entries might help with that.
I mean, I'm excited what you guys are doing, and I'm super curious on how you prioritize, because I know I would get shiny object syndrome, because I know you'd probably want to build live dashboards. You'd probably want to, beef up the reporting. You want customer interface with the financials. You want check images pulling in. Like, there's so much, and how do you, prioritize? Because there's a whole lot of this elephant to eat.
Yeah, live dashboards is actually one that you should keep an eye out for in the next couple of weeks in an update. So we'll see whenever this airs, whether that makes sense in the past or in the future.
Wow. This is going to air a week from tomorrow. So
it may be early or right on time.
Ooh, fantastic.
All right, folks. Well, final moments, Ben Stein. We've kept you for a whole half hour. Any final thoughts, wisdoms?
Gosh, I feel like if I say any more, it will it will detract rather than add. So just thank you again. Always a pleasure to see you both. Always love coming on here. I think I'm getting worse, not better at the scores on fast figures. So I'll have to study harder for the next one.
It's just the result of you lowering your standards of who you hang out with. So
perfect.
We're doing our job. Thank you, Ben. We'll be chatting soon.
All right. What a fantastic guest. I love it when Ben comes by. It's such a good time.
He just ups our credibility in the knowledge base couple points here.
Yeah, or more. All right. One last game we're going to play here today. One that I am calling Increase Angst. We're getting into fall. I remember we had fast figures last time where when the month or the day that pumpkin spice comes out. It's got to be soon. We're dropping here August 17th. As if it hasn't happened already, it's going to happen soon. But we're getting in fall. And what else does fall mean? Accounting software price increases.
Oh, yeah. It's that time.
It's that time.
Where everyone swears off their general ledger to leave for someone else.
Yeah. So both Intuit and Xero announced some price increases.
Okay.
We're going to test your knowledge at what those were. And so let's get into it. So I'm going to ask each of the levels of QuickBooks, and I want you to tell me what the price was currently, and then what you think it's going up to. I know it's going to be hard. Let's go at the easiest one, or not easiest one, but lowest level of QuickBooks right now. Simple start.
No, it's not. It's Ledger at $10.
Oh yeah, they didn't have.
Boom. Lawyered.
Getting out of the gates well. All right, perfect. Next one. Simple start. How much is that? Do
I have a window or do I have to be on the dot?
Oh, I'll give you a window. I'm just gonna.
Okay. I think Simple Start was like 25 going to 36.
Close. 35 going to 38, or a 9% increase.
Okay.
Can I just say for the record, I hate any monthly subscriptions that don't end in a 0, 5, or 9.
Really?
Yeah. Like I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. I don't think I put any of our clients on a number that's not one of those numbers just because they bother me that much. So yeah, 9% increase at the lowest level. Then Essentials, guess there.
Essentials. Is this the accountant price or the publicly displayed price?
I believe this is all publicly displayed price, not And you got
$65, and I don't even know if that's the old one or the new, but I'm going with $65.
65 is the current price, going up to 75, up 15%.
Okay.
That one. Okay. And then plus
like 120 going to 160 or something.
99 going to 115, or a jump of 15%. Okay. And then last one is advanced.
Advanced, if I'm not mistaken, was 200 before, and it's going to like 260.
235 going to 275.
Okay.
17%.
Put them both in there.
Pretty much averaging, I would guess, 14% in all of those buckets with the price going up. Also announced, and I won't make you slaughter through this one, but payroll pricing, all of them are increasing a little bit too. Core payroll, $50 plus $6 employee is now $50 plus $6.50 an employee.
Okay.
Again, weird. Payroll premium was $85 plus $9 an employee, going to $88 plus $10. And payroll elite, which I feel putting anything elite on QuickBooks is a stretch, but $130 plus $11 per employee, going to $134 plus $12 per employee. Or
all the excitement of reading a nutritional fact sheet on the back of a cereal box. That was amazing.
Yeah, so like it's a lot, right? So all these are going up. So now just quick through Xero, and I know neither of us use this, right? But if you think Xero has their 3 tiers as well: early, growing, established. And I don't.
What was that first one again?
Early.
Okay.
Early, yeah. Which I think, like, I like those names better than QuickBooks names. I'm just going to put that out there. Like, simple start, I feel like early, growing, established. I like it. All right. So all of these going up as well. Early was at $20.
Was it really?
Yeah. So if you think simple start was at 35, so right there you're having a pretty big difference. Only going to 25. So again, percentage-wise, big jump. Then guess on growing. Where do you think that one's at? If the lowest one's at 20?
I'm going to go 50.
50, guess 47, going to 55. And then established is the top one. And I was surprised how much this is.
95.
80.
Okay.
Whereas the top QuickBooks is like 235.
And never worth it, in my opinion.
And never worth it, in my opinion, either. Yeah, and that one's only going up to 90. So, again, favorite time of year. Prices are going up. Gonna have to deal with it. Again, you better be passing that along to your clients, right? However you're getting your billing out there. But 'tis the season.
That's every year. I just love the social media posts of people a month and a half ago, because QuickBooks fiscal year starts in August. So they announce their updates June, July, and everyone's like, I'm leaving for Xero. And then sometime around this year, Xero announces that starting November, they're going up in price. And every year it's, I'm moving to FreshBooks then, or I'm moving to Wave. Yeah, it's a great time just to watch the social media feeds.
Yeah, and I got a lot of this detail from our fantastic friends at Woodard that put it together, but it also gives kind of like a contextual overview on just Intuit and how much their revenues have gone up and their EPS and all that stuff. And strangely enough, it's pretty close to the amount that they put those fees up every year.
Sounds about right.
Right. Awesome. All right, now let's get to our winner and loser of the week. Winner, and I brought this gentleman up way too often than I'd like to, but Elon Musk, did you hear his new pay package that he had?
No, haven't at all.
Man. So I think it was actually 2 years ago, they announced an even more ridiculous pay structure for him that ended up getting overturned or not allowed by a federal judge. That one was $55 billion, so they ratcheted that down to $29 billion this week.
I mean, as a percentage reduction, that's actually pretty substantial, but that's still just Scrooge McDuck money.
Yeah, like what do you even do with that? Oh man, I don't even know what I would do.
You build spaceships. What else?
Yeah, right. Whatever you want is the right answer.
And for our loser of the week?
And our loser of the week, let me know if you know this name. Erica McTarfer. Ever hear that one?
Never heard of it.
No. So she is now the former Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner.
Oh.
So if you didn't hear this story, right, that there were job numbers put out, current administration was not excited with how they ended up being reported, which, if I'm the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner, I'm just going to make that number whatever I want to make people happier. No, they're probably using data on this.
Yeah.
Probably right. But yeah, talk about firing the messenger, announce that report, immediately dismissed. And what I find also funny is same administration, when it came out in March, when it was positive, they're all like, oh, these are fantastic. Everything's working and whatnot. And then as soon as you get a bad one, you're the messenger, you're gone. Oof.
I feel this in my firm. I had to get on a call. So I have this hotel management group that manages hotels that other people own.
Yeah.
And I had to get on a call with one of their owners because they're like, hey, we need you to, stand in as a frac CFO, help us out, just explain what's going on. And they were upset with the numbers. I'm like, okay. What do you need me to do though?
Yeah.
And they were like, well, what are you going to do about it? I'm like, well, operations needs to do blah, 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 blah. And again, they look at the finance guy like, well, we don't like the numbers. How are you going to fix it? And it's like, that's like looking at your speedometer and saying, I don't like that number. It's like, okay, you have the power to fix it.
Right. And I've been in those positions before too, where you're reporting back and they're like, well, what do we do? And I'm like, well, we either need to increase the revenues, you need to decrease the expenses.
Yep.
So let's talk with your team and figure out which one's the easiest one to do or the most likely to happen. But yep, it's just that easy.
Well, Jeremy, another successful week. Hopefully in 2 weeks, I have my voice back. Maybe not. But dude, we got another cool guest next week, I hope. And yeah, you're looking at the spreadsheet right now. You don't even know what's coming up.
I don't.
But until then, sir, you have a good one.
You as well.
Let's be honest, most of us didn't become bookkeepers or accountants to spend hours learning marketing systems and chasing leads. Heck, some of us became accountants because we didn't want to talk to people. We did it also to serve clients and build businesses we love. But what if you could get better clients without the marketing overwhelm? Well, that's exactly what Keepful does. It's an all-in-one marketing system built specifically for bookkeepers and accountants. And it works 24/7 behind the scenes to bring in leads, book consultations, and automate follow-ups. You get a professional website, branded consultation page, and follow-up automations all tailored to your business. No more duct taping tools together or hiring expensive marketing teams. If you want to grow your firm with ease and attract better clients without doing more work, go check out Keepful today at keepful.com or follow the link in the show notes to give us a little bit of extra credit with the folks over at Keepful.